Hi, my dear resident. This is my fourth video in a clinical case discussion series and also fourth video on a breast swelling. Today I am going to discuss differential diagnosis and a treatment of a operable carcinoma of the breast. I have discussed the concepts of the treatment of the carcinoma of breast useful for the residents in the examination. So let us go. Yeah, what is the differential diagnosis in this case?
Carcinoma of breast, chronic abscess, traumatic fat necrosis, benign tumor, fibroadenoma or phyllid tumor.
What are the findings suggestive of chronic abscess?
Chronic abscess can be hard with enlarged lymph nodes.
Chronic abscess presents with a hard swelling and there can be a skin tethering in chronic abscess also. Lymph nodes are also palpable in chronic abscess. So these are certain favorable findings. What are the findings against the chronic abscess? How do you explain in this case?
No history of infection.
Yes, there is no history of infection or inflammation. The swelling is increasing in size. Lymph nodes are hard in consistency. Not commonly possible that in that age group with a short duration of the swelling. But symptoms of infection might have gone unnoticed, so lymph nodes might have enlarged due to that infection. So there is a possibility of a chronic breast abscess also as a differential diagnosis in this case. What are the findings suggestive of traumatic fat necrosis?
Hard irregular swelling, skin tethering is present.
Yeah, what are the findings against the traumatic fat necrosis? How do you explain in this case?
No history of trauma.
Yes, there is no history of trauma in this case, no history of discoloration notice, not common in Asian population, and lymph nodes are also enlarged in this case, but trauma can be a subclinical. The lymph nodes are due to non-specific cause, maybe due to non-specific infection. So that is how one can, to some extent, these findings can be explained. Differential diagnosis can be explained in a traumatic fat necrosis. What are the findings suggestive of benign tumor, a fibroadenoma or a phyllid tumor in this patient?
A phyllid tumor can present with similar findings, common above the age of 40 years.
What are the findings against the phyllid tumor and how do you explain in this case?
Phyllid tumor is soft to firm in consistency.
Yes. History of a long duration should be present in case of a phyllid tumor. Phyllid tumor is a soft form in consistency. Skin tethering will not be present, not fixed to the underlying muscle. Lymph nodes are not enlarged. But in the beginning, the phyllid tumor consistency can be firm to hard also. What is your clinical diagnosis with all the investigations reports at your hand?
Carcinoma of breast, T2N1M0, stage 2 cancer, operable carcinoma of breast.
Okay, can you summarize the complete picture of a case?
It is carcinoma of breast, invasive cancer, cribriform type, grade 2, with no vascular or lymphatic invasion.
Yes, ER.
ER positive, PR positive, and HER2 positive. FNAC of axillary lymph nodes shows metastasis in two lymph nodes. CT chest and abdomen, bone scan are normal.
So what is the treatment plan in this patient?
Breast conservative surgery and axillary clearance, plus radiotherapy to whole breast, plus chemotherapy and hormone therapy.
How do you classify carcinoma of breast for treatment purposes?
Operable carcinoma, locally advanced carcinoma, advanced or metastatic carcinoma.
You are right. It can be operable carcinoma or locally advanced carcinoma or advanced carcinoma. This is the way we are now classifying nowadays. Yeah, what is the operable carcinoma?
Tumors restricted to breast with or without metastatic mobile lymph nodes in ipsilateral axilla are considered as operable carcinoma.
Yes, the operable carcinomas are the tumors which are restricted to the breast only, and sometimes without any lymph nodes and with lymph node, but they are mobile lymph nodes. Then only it is called as a operable carcinoma. What is locally advanced carcinoma of breast?
It is characterized by infiltration of the skin or and the chest wall by the tumor and or matted axillary lymph nodes.
Yes, locally advanced carcinoma means the tumor which has infiltrated either into the skin or into the chest wall or it can be both also. And also sometimes a matted group of axillary lymph nodes are also considered to be advanced carcinoma. Yeah, locally advanced carcinoma? What is advanced carcinoma or metastatic carcinoma?
Carcinoma with a distant metastasis, irrespective of the tumor or lymph nodal status, is considered as advanced carcinoma of breast.
Yeah, the in advanced carcinoma, it is irrespective of the tumor size or a nodal status. If the metastasis has been found in a distant organs, that is considered as a advanced carcinoma or a metastatic carcinoma of the breast. Yes. What are the surgical options available in carcinoma of breast?
Breast conservative surgery, modified radical mastectomy, toilet mastectomy.
Yes. Breast conservative surgery, modified radical mastectomy is mainly done in a operable carcinoma. Toilet mastectomy or a simple mastectomy done in locally advanced or a advanced carcinomas. What is the role of a adjuvant chemo or a hormone therapy in a operable carcinoma?
It is a systemic disease.
Yeah, you are right. Breast cancer is a systemic disease. It has already spread microscopically all over the body by the time clinically made out. So patients needs a adjuvant therapy to clear the carcinoma. What is the role of a surgery if the carcinoma breast is a systemic disease from the beginning?
I don't know.
Surgery is a macroscopic debulking procedure to decrease the tumor load and prevent the local recurrence. A surgery is a macroscopic debulking procedure to decrease the tumor load and prevent the local recurrence. What is the role of axillary clearance when the disease is already systemic?
I don't know.
Axillary clearance is necessary to know the number of nodes involved and what level of nodes are involved. More than 4 lymph nodes or level 3 lymph nodes involvement increases the risk of a recurrence and requires the radiotherapy to the chest wall and the supraclavicular region. That is number one reason. The staging of the disease and the prognosis also varies when the level 3 lymph nodes are involved. Radiotherapy can be avoided to supraclavicular lesion, which is likely to cause a frozen shoulder if involved lymph nodes are less than 3 in number or level 3 group of lymph nodes are not involved. For this reason, we may have to do the axillary clearance completely to send it for the histopathological examination to know whether the how many number of the lymph nodes are involved and what is their level of lymph nodes are involved. That will be useful, as I said, for the prognostic purposes as well as for the treatment purposes. The level 3 group of lymph nodes involvement requires a radiotherapy to the supraclavicular region, but it is a radiotherapy to the supraclavicular region has a side effect of a frozen shoulder. So this unnecessarily need not be given if they are not involved. That's the reason axillary clearance is necessary when FNAC has proved metastasis is present or more than 2 lymph nodes or sentinel lymph nodes are involved. See, axillary clearance is necessary when FNAC proven metastasis is present or more than 2 sentinel lymph nodes are involved. Then the axillary clearance is required. What is the breast conservative surgery? What are the contraindications?
It is a wide excision of tumor, preserving the cosmetic appearance of the breast. without compromising at the margins. Contraindication is where the postoperative radiotherapy cannot be given.
Yes, you are right. Contraindication. The what is the breast conservative surgery means? It is a wide excision of the tumor, but the thing is we are preserving the cosmetic appearance of the breast without compromising at the margins. So you are as minimal as doing to make a cosmetical appearance, but not compromising at the margins. That is also very important. So wide excision has to be done. So, but not compromising at the margins. The what are the contraindications? The cosmetic results where cosmetic results cannot be obtained after wide excision. That means suppose tumor size is more than 20% of the breast volume is there. When we do the wide excision, we cannot the breast will not have a cosmetical appearance. After wide excision, we cannot get the cosmetic appearance. So our aim of the treatment will not be met with. So naturally, that is also one contraindication. That means a small breast is there, tumor is a suppose say 4 centimeters or a 3 centimeters is there. When we do the wide excision, it is a nearly removal of the more than 20% of the breast volume. Then in those cases, the cosmetic results cannot be obtained. So that is also a contraindication. And in certain conditions, post-operative radiotherapy cannot be given due to such as a scleroderma, patient suffering from the scleroderma, rheumatoid arthritis, Sjogren's syndrome. In these cases, there is a radiotherapy cannot be given. So this patient also a breast conservative surgery cannot be done because breast conservative surgery should always be followed by the radiotherapy to the breast. So that is most important. If you cannot give a radiotherapy for any reason, breast conservative surgery cannot be done. Third point being that there may not be availability of a radiotherapy in the near to the patient, and sometimes the disease is not limited to one quadrant of the breast, but it can be a multicentric and showing a microcalcification in other quadrants also. That suggestive that disease is a multicentric. A microcalcification suggestive of a multicentric disease. And in a locally invasive cancer surrounded by a large areas of a DCIS. So duct cell carcinoma in situ. Suppose locally invasive carcinoma surrounded by a duct cell carcinoma in situ presented with a microcalcification. That case also we may not be able to do the breast conservative surgery. And after excision, we send it for the histopathological examination. If the margins are persistently proving to be positive for the malignant cells, when you see at the margins, even after excision persistently proving the positive margins, that means you may have to, this patient has to undergo the mastectomy. Then previous irradiation for whatever the reasons, maybe if the patient had undergone previous irradiation, in those case also the breast conservative surgery cannot be done. How much wide is the excision done in breast conservative surgery?
In UK, it is more than 1 millimeter wide and no ink on tumor in USA.
Yeah, latest thinking is in UK it is only 1 millimeter wide excision is done. 1 millimeter only. It is not that. It is equivalent to 1 millimeter, little more than the 1 millimeter only for the UK. But in America, it is there should not be any ink after excision. There should not be any when we mark the tumor will be marked with the ink. So when we excise the tumor, there should not be any ink on the tumor. That means just inside of that marking only one may have to do the excision. So this is the wide excision followed in the USA, and in UK it is a 1 millimeter wide excision will be done. The previous thought being the sometimes it is a 1 centimeter wide excision, even prior to the 2 centimeter wide excision. All now not accepted as it is a systemic disease. So anyhow, we have to give that patient the radiotherapy. For that purposes, we may have to only a 1 millimeter wide excision is sufficient enough to be considered for the wide excision in the UK. When do you plan for a axillary clearance?
In the same city,
Yes, if the axillary lymph nodes are positive with FNABC, then we may have to do in the same sitting, the axillary clearance has to be done. How do you plan for a post-operative radiotherapy?
Radiotherapy to the whole breast. Whole breast radiotherapy given over period of 3 to 5 weeks. Additional boost will be planned to tumor bed in this patient as the tumor is fixed to pectoral muscle.
Yeah, the radiotherapy, the whole breast radiotherapy, the first it has to be given over the period of 3 to 5 weeks. That's okay. But the additional boost also to be given for this patient. This patient has got the fixity of the tumor to the pectoral muscle. So this additional boost also has to be given in this case. Yeah. If the breast conservative surgery is contraindicated in this patient, how do you manage this patient?
Modified radical mastectomy plus radiotherapy.
Yeah. So, in this patient, when we cannot do the breast conservative surgery, we can go ahead with the modified radical mastectomy. Then, why should we do the radiotherapy? That is, what are the indications for the radiotherapy after modified radical mastectomy?
I don't know.
Yes. After modified radical mastectomy, postoperative radiotherapy is indicated to prevent the local recurrences in high risk patients. Who are those high risk patients who requires the postoperative radiotherapy even after modified radical mastectomy? These are the number one. When the tumor size is more than or equivalent to 5 centimeters. Number two, more than 3 axillary lymph nodes are involved. Number three, involvement of the pectoral muscle or fascia. And number four, the presence of a dimpling. Number five, the grade 3 tumor. In all these conditions, the postoperative radiotherapy is indicated even in case after modified radical mastectomy. What are the lymph nodes involved in carcinoma breast? How do they affect staging?
Axillary lymph nodes in 95% first involved. Internal mammary lymph nodes in 5% first involved. Involvement considered N2 stage. Supraclavicular lymph nodes is considered N3 stage and M1.
Yeah, in 95% of the patients, it is the axillary group of lymph nodes are involved. They are first to be involved. But in a 5% of the cases, where the swelling is situated in the upper medial quadrant or a lower medial quadrant, there is a possibility of a 5% of a internal memory lymph nodes are involved with or without axillary group of a lymph nodes. So with or without axillary lymph node, internal memory lymph nodes are involved. In that condition, it is considered as a N2 stage of a tumor. It is in the when the TNM classification, it is not considered as a TN1, but it is a N2 stage. Similarly, a supraclavicular group of lymph nodes are also may be involved in a later phase. That condition, it is a N3. It is considered as a N3 stage, or that will be considered as a advanced metastasis also. So it is some at the end it should be considered as a M1 also. What is the importance of involvement of a lymph nodes?
It suggests that the cancer has spread systemically.
Yes, it is not a filtering agent. See, axillary lymph nodes are not considered to be as a filtering boundary. It is not that one. It is not a boundary. But the thing is, when they are involved, axillary lymph nodes are involved. That means the disease has spread systemically. That is what it has to be considered. What is Nottingham's prognostic index?
I don't know.
Yeah, Nottingham's prognostic index for the it is self-explanatory prognosis index. It includes three factors. Depends upon the tumor size. That is, the tumor size has to be measured. It is a pathological relation, not in a clinical manner. So, after fixation, what is the tumor size has to be considered. So, tumor size, and the second is the nodal status. So, if score also will be given for the nodal stage. That is a score 1 for if no nodes are involved, score 2 if it is 1 to 3 group of lymph nodes, 1 to 3 lymph nodes are involved, score 3 if it is a more than 3 lymph nodes are involved. So that is how we give a scoring for the lymph nodal status. Then grading of the tumor. So here grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 tumors are there. So scores also grade 1 it is score 1, grade 2 score 2 and grade 3 score 3. So all the scores combined together, if it is more than 7 in size, that the index will be depends upon the score also. It is how much it is, whether it is a good, bad, excellent or a moderate, like that we can be explained in the Nottingham's prognostic index. But much more than this, nowadays there are other several factors to measure the prognosis that we'll talk later on. What chemotherapeutic regimen is advocated in this patient? What is the advantage? What are the side effects?
I don't know.
See, nowadays it is considered that toxins and anthracycline regimens are far more superior than the older regimens such as the CMF, cyclophosphamide methotrexate and 5-fluorouracil. That are older, but that since long time it has been given. But to the disease free interval and overall survival rate are better. Disease free interval, that means no recurrences, disease free interval are in survival. So overall survival rate is better with toxins and anthracycline regimen. So toxin and anthracycline regimen can be combined. Two drugs can be given. The toxins are docetaxel. It is a once in a 21 days it can be given, and doxorubicin, that is also once in a 3 weeks can be given, and like that two drugs can be given once in a 3 weeks, and for about a 6 cycles one may have to give. Overall survival rate and a disease free interval is better with this regimen than with other regimens, especially in younger patients. Doxorubicin, but the thing is the advantage being that it is better, but the side effects are doxorubicin causes a myocardial toxicity. That's why it is previously it is contraindicated in old people more than 60 years of age or post-menopausal patient. The doxorubicin was not being given, but nowadays with care it can be, with the lesser doses with care it can be given, but it is likely to cause a myocardial toxicity even after stopping of the treatment. That is the one has to remember. And a docetaxel causes the neuropathy. So these are the some side effects of a chemotherapeutic drugs. How do you plan hormone therapy in this patient? What are the side effects?
Tablet tamoxifen 20 milligrams once daily for 5 years. Hot flushes and vaginal dryness are the side effects.
Yes, tamoxifen can be given for a longer period. That is the one advantage of the when the hormone receptors are positive, estrogen receptors positive. This patient is having a estrogen receptors positive, progesterone receptor positive. So tamoxifen, that is anti-estrogenic drug, 20 milligrams once daily can be given over the period of 5 years. With that, the chances of having a recurrences will be minimized. But the thing is, it has got a certain side effects such as hot flushes and vaginal dryness and loss of libido are certain side effects which are noticed with this type of a treatment, tamoxifen. What other methods of a hormone therapy are available?
Ovarian suppression can be done by surgically by oophorectomy, radiologically by ablation with GnRH analog Goserelin.
Yes, it is a anti-estrogenic substance. Tamoxifen causes chemo suppression. I agree. But thing is, we can have got other methods. Suppose for any reason, if you wanted to suppress the ovary in a younger patient, a premenopausal patient, the surgically oophorectomy can be done. Radiologically, ablation also can be given, or with the GnRH analog goserelin can also be used to suppress the ovarian ovaries. So resulting into we can have the same effect of a anti-estrogenic effect. What is the prognosis in this patient?
Good.
Yeah. With the above findings, this is a stage 2 operable carcinoma with the receptors positive and grade 2 cribriform histology without any vascular or lymphatic invasion. It has a moderate to good prognosis. So your pathological report should mention about all these findings. That is whether the what type of a carcinoma, is it a cribriform or a tubular, different varieties of pathological varieties that we have already discussed it. So a cribriform, so that is a one type, and a medullary, if it is a medullary, it has got a bad prognosis. And one more thing is the pathologist also should mention whether there is a vascular or a lymphatic invasion. Vascular lymphatic invasion means it has got a very bad prognosis because it is already systemically spread. In this patient, because this patient is only stage 2 tumor, operable carcinoma with no vascular or lymphatic invasion, so it has got a moderate to good prognosis. 5-year survival rate is about 85% in this patient. What is most important prognostic factor?
Involvement of number of axillary lymph nodes.
Very good. So involvement of a number of axillary lymph nodes is very much important. So if they are more than 3 in number, naturally the prognosis will be bad. Whereas if they are less than 3 in number, the prognosis will be favorable. What are the prognostic indicators of a carcinoma breast? I told you already, in the Nottingham prognostic index, it is only 3 conditions have been taken into that. But actually, there are many more things have been added to it. So here, what are the prognostic indicators of the carcinoma breast and how are they helpful?
One, age. Stage.
Yes, age. The younger the age, the more the worst prognosis will be there. The younger people will have the worst prognosis, and there are more chances of a overall survival will be less. Whereas, yes, stage of the disease also will be counting. Suppose as it is a common zone, that is the tumor size, axillary lymph node involvement, metastasis, all these things plays a part. How far it has been advanced, is it a local advanced or it is a operable carcinoma early case or it is a advanced case, that we can know. Apart from that, we'll be able to make out some biological factors also will be playing a part in the prognosis. So what are those indicators? The histological type. As I have already told you, the pathologist has to give the histological report mentioning what is the type of a cells they have seen. Is it a tubular variety? Is it a cribriform variety? Is it a medullary variety? Is it a mucoid variety? So that is it a papillary variety? That they have to mention. Suppose among all the things, the medullary variety is one of the having bad prognostic index. It is having a bad prognosis with the medullary varieties of a carcinoma. Similarly, they must put up a cytological grade, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, depends upon the whether it is well differentiated, moderately differentiated, or poorly differentiated. Depends, that is a grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So that also very important factor for us as a prognostic indicator. Similarly, the presence of receptor status and HER2 status also. Receptor status, it is well known. If the receptor status is present, the patient will have a better prognosis. Whereas absence of a receptor status will be seen as a bad prognostic index. Similarly, the vascular and lymphatic invasion, it is considered to be as a systemic spread. So that is also a prognostic index. Apart from that, there are certain genomic indexes that measure the tumor proliferation. That also one may have to note it. And then online tools are there to determine the prognosis, such as a MAMA print and Oncotype DX also will be there. They predict the disease-free interval and a survival period. So online tools to determine the prognosis, the MAMA print and Oncotype DX are helpful to predict the disease-free interval and the survival period in a particular case when we feed all the information regarding the patient, that is all the information and all the pathology report. When we feed into this, we'll be getting the how much what prediction of the disease free interval and the survival period also can be predicted. Then why some people only get early secondaries and some get very late?
I don't know.
Yeah, it depends upon the histological type. As I have already told you, a invasive variety And also suppose say a medullary variety has got a bad prognosis because it spreads very fast, and secondaries also will be get early. Similarly, a grade 3 tumor will have the early secondaries. So invasion of the blood and lymphatic vessels also prove to have a early secondaries rather than the rate. So these are all factors which influences to get a secondaries. So secondaries may be a distant secondaries either in the soft tissue such as a lung or a liver, or sometimes in the bone skeletal metastasis. These things will be mainly depends upon the development of a secondaries mainly depends upon the histological variety and the grade of the type and invasion of the blood and lymphatic vessels. So these are the certain things which I wanted to speak today regarding the operable carcinoma of the breast. In the next